All right, so some of this is gonna probably seem a little crazy, but here's what we're at right now. Car is up. I'm gonna be doing quite a few things. Extended wheel studs, just new tie rods. Got some different hubs. So I can just put these in a little bit easier. We're doing that because the wheels I'll show you in a second, and I got some different mat. I'm gonna try to get rid of the header wrap and just put that stuff on there. We'll get to all of it eventually. And I'm changing the wheel welds out in the front. Gonna see if that helps out with some braking. We'll go there again later. So here's some Koenig decograms. Really like the wheel. They already come in black, so I'm not gonna paint them. These are 15x9 with a 35 offset. Same as the hexagrams. So let's show you the clearance. So granted, right, the suspensions, the car is, it's not, there's no load on it. So obviously this wheel will get pushed up a bit once the weight's on it. But as of right now, I mean, this camber arm, I can't even get my finger between it. She's not rubbing. She's good. And once the car's got load and there's a tire on it, this whole rim should kind of lift up a little bit and should have some more clearance as far as that's concerned. So the trailing arm, you can see now, no tire on it, right? Here's where clearances went to. The other side might be different, I don't know yet, but looks like I stopped right where the rim was. So the tire is still gonna be in a good spot. And maybe you can see there, I mean, it's not touching it. It is close. Granted, this should never touch. I mean, the arm will move, but the wheel is fixed to it, so it should never touch. So it should be okay. Kind of wish I could take the arms off and clearance some more, but I have to go back quite a bit more. And I was trying to, preserve as much integrity to that arm as possible. So the front of the car, wheel rotates, got clearance, front 5mm spacer again. The issue would be the knuckle, which I don't know if you can get a good angle there. I mean, it's got clearance, but I mean, barely. And again, once it's under load, the wheel should rise a little bit on the knuckle there and clear maybe. It's gonna be tough. We'll see. So game plan with this, right? This is gonna stick out, I'm aware of that. So I've got some new just OEM replacement fenders. I'm gonna put these on, keep these, in case you're not aware, I have a kind of an Osaka style fender, a little wide body fender that looks OEM-ish. Now the back, I don't want to touch, right? Start like right here where the body line is. Put like a little cut around here with a Dremel to the end here. Leave like a little bit of an inch up and then pull this out. So that way it kind of covers the wheel and fill it with some metal. So I'm not cutting into the rear. Some other folks have ran these in the rear on our car and they fit. The DA trailing arms, I think, would be the wrong move because they actually put the offset further out, like I think 1/2 inch, which would give you less fender clearance. So I'm still running the SI trailing arms. They have to be notched for this. There's no way you couldn't have notched this with the tire. But I should have more, offset inward, so it should have more fender clearance. I'm going to try to, if I just got to give it some more camber in the back, but within reason, right? I don't want to throw this thing with a, 5 degrees of cams. The car handles like shit. So with the tires, do I need these? No. Buddy Daryl at the track just set, sub 130s with a 225s. So I know the car's capable of it, and I keep getting faster, and I know I'm capable of it. These tires maybe have like one more session left on them, and I got to buy new tires. So with my mindset is if I buy new tires, and I can keep doing that, but if this makes any sense, let's say it takes me an effort of 8 out of 10 with my driving ability at the moment to achieve, let's just say a 130 time. If I can just get extra grip from the tires and I have to exert 6 out of 10 effort to get the same time, to me, that's kind of a win. Obviously, the tires are going to be wider because I'm going to try to throw 245 40s on it as opposed to the 225 45s. So I will have more grip for sure. There's no debate about that. Again, I haven't touched the car in probably like 6 outings, and I've gotten faster every time. So my buddy Matt and others, they're accurate. Just leave the car alone and you're going to get faster, and I have been. All right, so yesterday did not go nearly as smooth as I was hoping for simple things, right? So here's the rear hub. These came out pretty easy. ARP studs went in pretty easy. But once I got to the fronts, I bought some aftermarket hubs off eBay, and the ARP studs just basically fell right through the hole here. Luckily, my buddy Matt had a set of front EX hubs that were just basically in his garage. So the downfall with those is I'll eventually be going to the Corrado G60 rotors, and those do not fit basically on an EX hub. So I have to turn those down on the outside just to shrink them down a little bit. But other than that, we are moving along here. So tires are mounted. They are quite beefy compared to the 225s. So let me just install this rear hub and we'll kind of put the tire on and we'll see where it fits. All right, so she's all back together. This is just a 5mm spacer. So we're gonna try it with that. Because again, we have to worry about fender clearance too. So let's see what we got here. Oh, they put a weight here too. Interesting, so that might end up definitely rubbing the camber arm. So let's kind of throw that out of the way right now. Kind of put that all towards the bottom and we'll see from there. Where are you? There you are. Just comes to a complete stop. So what I noticed is there's a wheel weight on the outside of the rim here, and it's touching the camber arm. So both back wheels are on. I just kind of put them on there, just 2 lug nuts each. Now here's something interesting. Both these wheels, like at the front and here, they rotate smoothly, except when I come around. Same thing with the front here. This wheel rotates fine. Where are you? There you go. So now, I can't really show you, but back there, it's rubbing against the control arm or the knuckle assembly. So I'm just gonna leave the wheel down there too. I'm gonna have to, I guess, go get these rebalanced or something just to say, hey, don't put any weights there, put some slim. All right, so maybe I could better show you here. The only weight they use in this whole wheel is one right there. So that's obviously adding even more thickness coming out that I don't need. And that's it. 5mm spacer on. Look how sandy everything gets. That's from like kind of just gently going off the track once. Like riding a wheel into the dirt a little bit. Crazy. But yeah, let's see how this goes. And yeah. Still on jack stands. Top of that tire is going to have to come in quite a bit. All right, so let's let the front down slowly now. You might see the splitter's a little big for this jack, but all right, super meaty. I dig the look of it. The front's obviously gonna have to have some flares, right? And again, not flares. I might not have to pull this out as much as I thought. Again, gonna make new ones, or take the ones I got over there and put them on here, and then kind of flare this out to fit. Tire spat. Probably make slightly larger one. As far as the back is concerned, so it does stick out. Kind of hard to tell. Trying to make something that, like probably have fingers width. I'm just trying to get, vertically up and down here. Now that being said, I have to check what the camber is. The camber was 2 3/4 in the back. Now there's more ride height for sure. I'd have to look at the math, but I want to say I dropped like 1/8 or 1/4 inch with this ride height, or with this tire height. And again, I mean, it's a 40, but it's 40 in proportion to the 245. So, but a 245/40 is actually still smaller sidewall height compared to a 225/45. I'm not going to try to roll the car because we already know, I mean, it will roll, but at some point it's going to hit something. So not going to mess with that. We can just do a quick test piece. I'm not going to lie, man. There's no letters, but I dig the decagrams, I think, actually better than the hexagrams for sure. Let me just do a quick little, yeah. So again, it was 2 3/4 is what the rear was. Let's see here. I'm just going to use a little digital level just to get a quick idea of where it sits. All right, so this isn't going to be rocket science. We're just going to kind of put this roughly right where the wheel is sitting. Get in there. Let's just zero it. just to get a rough idea. Face of the wheel, 8.80. Okay, so definitely not 3 degrees. So it's off of 90, right? So again, yeah, it's off of 90. So you would just do 90 minus 87.8, which is 2.2. So I don't know, maybe the bigger contact area or something changed the camber a little bit, or suspension just needs to settle. I did just lower it. I'll let it sit and we'll kind of check it out. But I think maybe if I aimed for like maybe like 3 degrees, but I still have a trailing arm issue back there. And that is a 5 mil spacer, which is pretty much gonna have to be a requirement. But unless I notch the trailing arm out more, which I really don't think I want to do, and then the wheel would go in, I think the 5 millimeters would be quite a bit going inset. We can experiment a little bit. I can easily just jack the rear up now and just, so I, take the rear wheels off, put them on. But I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna touch right now on the trailing arm without a doubt, or even the camber arm. So the fronts are meaty. What's up? But again, I'm gonna build the fender out to cover that, so it's actually not as bad as I thought it would be. I'll need some new tire spats, but the rear of the car is yeah, she's definitely out, right? I did a quick test. These are like 2.2 degrees of camber. Not as much as I was running, so I don't know if maybe the bigger surface areas is causing the, who knows. I did just lower it too, so the suspension probably needs to settle, but I'd probably have to go for 3 in the back, and the tire fronts have been at 2.5. I'm gonna go to 3 anyways, but I actually like the decagrams better than the hexagrams. And those Willwoods, sorry guys, but you are going to leave. Yeah, she's meaty. The biggest other issue that I ran into, so none of the wheels will do a full 360. Well, that back one does. But they don't do a full 360 because they did fucking wheel weights on the outside of the rim, which I didn't even take into account. But as you go to rotate it, it runs into the knuckle, and over there it runs into the camber arm. So I'll probably have to take those, I don't know, 10/10 or someone else maybe has got some low profile weights so we can just put them on the inside and not the outside of the rim face. All right, so besides that, she's on the ground, right? We're going to have to figure some stuff out, little tweaks here and there, but something else has been driving me insane. It's been doing it since I've been doing this time attack stuff, and that friggin' downpipe, man. It's not the downpipe. Keep putting heat wrap on it. I'm tired of fiberglass shredding. Yes, so the car is, people say the car is high. It's not that high. If you've got an EF chassis, you probably understand it just sits low in general, right? Especially, but I'm going to try something a little different this time. One of the other guys at the track, Ricky, recommended this stuff, what I put in this heat shield armor kit. So I'm going to wrap the whole downpipe in it, and oil pan clearance is my main concern, and the downpipe sits the lowest of everything. So self-clearance itself many of times. It's not cracked through or anything like that, so kudos to that. I'm just going to do the top portion of it because this down area, just keeps getting hit. It'll either drag a little bit on the ground sometimes and then it just shreds it, or the wastegate dump just explodes on top of the heat wrap, and it only takes, it's either the heat wrap blowing it up or it's dragging on the ground, or a mixture of both. So we're going to eliminate that by wrapping this a little bit differently, and the catch can has been filling up a bit more often than I would care for it to. I used to never fill up when I was running like 138s, but 131s, 132s, even 133s a little more consistently versus the 136s, I guess. It's just, it's got that much more blow by or whatever, but I don't think it's that. And I had some overboost spikes, as you guys are familiar with the wastegate lines and whatnot. But what I ended up doing is I've got 3 ports ran. So I've got 1 coming off the block and then 2 off the valve cover. So I just eliminated the 1 on the block, and I'm going to run just the valve cover. All right, so I'm just going to do the, the heat shield armor kit real quick. In case anyone's curious, I'm going to figure out if it works. It's rated for 1800 degrees or 2200 degrees for 30 seconds, essentially. So let's see. Has worked great, I guess. Temps are pretty good. But again, as earlier, it's just annoying to keep reapplying it. So hopefully this will work out a little better because you can't halfway wrap heat wrap around it. So we're going to solve that here now. So I already cut a piece. We're going to kind of lay that on top of here. And then it came with some metal zip ties. I've got a bunch, but we'll use what it came with first. All right, so the downpipe is wrapped, and so is the dump tube with this new heat shield header armor stuff. Here's what it looks like. Kind of a pain in the ass to wrap, but and there's a ton of clamps around it because it's not adhesive and it's not like really heat wrap. It just wants to stay. If you just had a straight pipe, you could probably get away with a lot less. It's just as this pipe contours and whatnot, it really doesn't really like it. I mean, it does contour, but it's like fat aluminum foil. And I bought, I think, the 1/2 inch. Probably could have went with the 1/4 inch. Fingers crossed that everything fits in here. So splitter's off. Everything's off. The 2 fittings are off the wastegate. We're gonna put the metal ones in. Yeah, so let's kind of get those in and we'll go from there. All right, I'm exhausted. That's gonna be it for the day. So I did end up routing new lines, as we talked about earlier. The new metal fittings. This is just kind of a DI fire sleeve over it. I might try and round them this way. Keep them away from that. So you can see the dump tube, I ended up going back with header wrap, and the down pipe, I ended up going with the actual heat shield stuff. I wrapped them both, as I showed you earlier, but I just could not get them to fit. It was just too thick, and everything's super tight, so I just couldn't get it to work out. So that's pretty much it for the moment. I started peeling off some of this just to see if it would change intake temps. I got some good data with it on, and I'm pretty sure it's actually just causing it to heat soak more. As you can see, it's leaving a really shitty residue there. So we have to work on that after the fact, but let me rip the rest of it off. And so here's the EX hubs my buddy Matt gave me. So ARP studs are pressed in them, cleaned them as much as I could. Probably clean them a little bit more and then put some paint on them. And what I'm saying is the outside diameter that like the inside is going to sit against the hub there. This EX hub is probably like, I think it's like 1.5 millimeters too big. So I'm gonna basically just kind of sand some of that off there so it fits, and we'll move on from there. These were the hub. The diameter of this is too big. This is an EX hub here. So the kit that I just bought from Fast Brakes to run Corrado's G60 brakes required the SI. So when I looked up size of the Corrado, the hubs that we used, or I tried to use, but they just didn't work out. And last, Matt also had, which we got to clean up pretty good, but nonetheless, he had them. So probably next time I'm just going to end up, degreasing the crap out of these, spraying with some black paint, putting a Honda sticker across it, and clearing them. So there she sits. So yeah, that is definitely gonna wrap it up now. So if anybody's got any questions, comments, throw them down there below. I know I've got stuff all over my face. This is definitely a lot different of a video. Basically just taking my Instagram stories and just making it into like a little vlog kind of video. I think the only downfall is it's gonna be all like this as opposed to like that. So maybe I will, I don't know, get a little camera stand, 'cause this is gonna be way faster. If you guys are interested in like quick vlog, type working videos like this, it's gonna be much faster if I just do it on my phone than on the GoPro. I'm not negating everything how I've been doing stuff, but this should be pretty quick, or much quicker. So we'll see. Again, just leave your questions, comments, and what you think of the type of video down in the comments below, and see you guys next time.